Ervin, a Praise in the Park event.
Today marks the 50th anniversary of the Watergate break-in.
The cover-up that followed the hearings and the White House tapes ultimately led to President Nixon stepping down from office.
And it was a North Carolina senator who chaired the Watergate Committee. Earlier today, I spoke to his grandsons about his legacy. Sam Ervin was already no stranger to the American public. Nearly 2 decades after bringing down Joseph McCarthy, North Carolina senator became the chair of the Senate Watergate Committee, a distinction that became a legacy. His steadfast, fair, judicious, logical, and common-sense approach steered the committee's reputation as bipartisan and just. His experience as a lawyer and judge and lack of further ambition made him the right person at that certain time.
And I think was perceived as being relatively conservative among the Senate Democrats and perceived as being perhaps less partisan than average.
As he put it himself, he might have been the only member of the Democratic caucus at the time who could not have been accused of harboring ambitions to run for president. And so he was not viewed as someone who would try to use the chairmanship of the committee as a launching pad for further office.
His grandsons followed his legal footpath. Sam Ervin IV is a state Supreme Court justice, and Robert Ervin a Superior Court judge. They have their own memories of the Watergate period.
It was not unusual for him to be in the public eye, but there was clearly a ratcheting up of the focus that we were not previously accustomed to, reporters showing up at the house and that kind of thing.
Sam Donaldson showed up on our back porch or our back door because when we were eating dinner because Granddad wasn't answering the door at his house. So the national press descended on Morganton and it was kind of hard to miss.
Both remember getting the chance to sit and watch the hearings in person.
And sort of saw the surrounding media activity as well, and it was a relatively slow week in the hearings, so they were somewhat interested in our reaction to it at the time.
Senator Ervin's desk and office are on display at Western Piedmont Community College. Although Harvard educated, his grandsons say the fact he called himself a country lawyer couldn't be more appropriate.
He was a lawyer in a small, essentially rural town who represented in large part average citizens and understood kind of the lives not only of a professional class like the one that he belonged to, but also the people in the rural parts of the county that had much more hard-scrambled lives.
And Russ, there's a special commemoration going on right now in D.C.
Yeah, as we speak, as a matter of fact. Last week we were talking about Rufus Edmondson, the state's former attorney general, who at the time during Watergate hearings was the deputy chief counsel for that very committee. He's there now with a whole bunch of folks who are still alive and kicking as they celebrate this 50th anniversary, or at least commemorate. Maybe I shouldn't say celebrate. Commemorate the 50th anniversary of that break-in.
All right, Russ, thanks.
Yeah, you bet.